No papers, third world escapers. So now you must pay to come here the right way. If ICE says hands up, don't run, just comply or you're done. Then it's too late to come here the right way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a green card. Tell me why no sneaking past the Coast Guard. Tell me why signed documents mean you can stay. Come here the right way. Just come here.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome in to another CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here for round two. There's just so much to talk about, and I didn't get time to talk about it earlier, so I figured we'd do another one because the people demand it. The people demand it, and you know what? The people get what they deserve. That's how it works around here. Nubbin's already dropping super chats. Midnight Light with a gifted membership. Thank you, Midnight Light. Grandis of Potato says, if coming up with bad takes was a Special Olympic sport, Beardo would take the gold every year. Nubbin says, epic mic in ranting form as usual. And then Beardo stirring the pot as normal. It was quite epic. I.199 LFG. Nas dropping 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Nas. Kevin Cron says, discombobulator tax CALX X post. All right, I will. Nubbin says, this is a new one, lol. That one, that's the second time I played that one. They claimed me the first time, so I will see. Again, with what just happened on this channel, trying to be a little careful. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so there is a lot going on. There's a lot to catch up on. And so we have a President Trump interview with NBC News that I haven't watched it. I've seen a bunch of clips from it. We've also got the Savannah Guthrie story that I kind of covered earlier. And there's several other things that are going on right now. There's just way too much shit happening. What happened to the channel? Okay, quick recap of what happened to the channel. Let me just go ahead and show you again for those that didn't see it. It's been a very frustrating 24 hours for me. But ultimately, I received an email. Or I'm sorry, I got a strike on the channel. And just so everybody understands, getting a copyright strike on your YouTube channel is pretty much a death sentence. It's a really bad. It's very scary. It's very stressful. The only time I've ever had strikes is when Naughty Dog hit me. And so you all know the story about Naughty Dog. This time it was for a company that I guess represents KTLA. They're part of Newswire. The company name is Storyful. And they I emailed them after I got a strike on the channel, and they said that that they would release my strike if I paid them, I think it's like $690 USD. And I was like, I'm not paying you to release this. It's fair use. Like, everything I do is fair use. I'm not an idiot. I'm not Hassan Piker here, just literally watching shit. I'm adding commentary. I'm making it transformative. But yeah, so they basically said they would not release the strike unless I paid them like $690. And then they then offered me to join their subscription for $1,000 a month to have access to all their videos. So I did a counterclaim through YouTube, and so YouTube reviewed my counterclaim and now has right here, YouTube has So there's the video. The video was removed. You have one copyright strike. That was yesterday. And then the counter notification, the claimant has 10 business days to respond with evidence of court action. So they have to take me to court now and prove that I was not having fair use towards the footage, because this is what they do. The whole thing is that they send these out to try to scare creators into giving them money. And it's bullshit. It's a fucking scam. It's a horrible, horrible situation. The YouTube copyright system is completely broken. This is why a lot of people have moved over to Rumble. This is why I continue to stay on Rumble. And you know, I know a lot of, like, I bitch about Rumble all the time, but this is why I have a Rumble channel. And this is why I urge people to follow me on Rumble, because luckily when I got this copyright strike, I thought I was going to lose the ability to run, to live stream for 7 days, because that's usually what happens when you get hit with a copyright strike on a live stream. You usually lose the ability to stream on that channel. But luckily that didn't happen. But I almost thought that I was doing CobraCast today as a Rumble exclusive. Talk to your lawyer, bro. Already got that set up. So attorney call is set up for next week. So I'll be informing them of everything. But yeah. Crazy shit, man. This is a tactic that these companies use, and they scare a lot of creators all the time. Now, I heard, I don't want to say the attorney's name, but I do want to get the feedback of the chat. A friend sent me the name. His name is, hang on, let me see if I can look it up and show you. Hang on. It's this right here. I can find it. So this is the attorney that I'm supposed to be talking to. Are you guys familiar with this guy? It should be good. So I'm looking forward to it. Apparently he's gotten a lot of people out of a lot of dicey situations. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. No, I do have an attorney call set up, though. You knew that's where I was going. You knew that's where I was going. I'm obsessed with Breaking Bad, so of course I was going to go there. But yeah, so we'll see. But follow on Rumble just in case. You never know. Zioni says the amount of counter signaling and blackpilling of Trump from these right influencers is insane. I am beginning to think they are paid by the Dems. That is a good question. I mean, I don't know if they're paid by the Dems, but there is a huge financial, motivator to go with the anti-Israel narrative and all of that, because people eat that shit up, dude. Like, they seriously, like, this is why I've fought so hard against that crowd, because that crowd has one opinion that they want to hear. And if you don't give that opinion, they'll turn on you. And I don't want people that are single issue voter mindset bullshit. I don't want those types of people that make up the audience that we have, because those people will always turn on you. Whether it's the anti-Israel crowd, whether it's the identity politics crowd, whether it's, any of these crowds that their sole focus is one fucking issue. And if you don't line up on that issue, they will turn on you. I don't like that shit. I like people that can actually have some critical thinking. And, I've said many times that I think the Israel issue is there's a lot of questions, a lot of valid questions that should be asked of Israel's involvement in United States politics. I think that there's a lot of questions about our politicians being in bed with Israel. I think those are all valid questions that should be asked and discussed. The problem is that the autistic fucks that make up that crowd aren't interested in a conversation. They're only interested in hearing Israel bad, Jews did everything, and if you disagree, then you are wrong and you are paid by Israel. At that point, I just like to meme on those people because it doesn't really matter. Fuck them. Let them cry. And that makes up the Elijah Schaffer and the girl that he was hooked up with. Like, look, I don't care what people do in their private time. It's not my business. But when your business has been to try and defame President Trump as a conservative, and you've been running with this, I live by conservative values and I live my life like as a Christian and blah, 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 and Donald Trump is not living up to the Christian way. Meanwhile, you're exposed as being a piece of shit projecting out there. That's where my interest level, goes, huh, that's interesting. So you were defaming Trump, saying Trump killed MAGA, Trump ruined this, Trump ruined that. And then suddenly you were pulling all this bullshit, And so it's just, those that preach the loudest have the most to hide. It's as simple as that, as far as I'm concerned. Dork Man for 50 says attorney tax. Thank you. Very much going to be needed probably. Nubbin for $51 and says it was plain ass extortion. Yeah, I mean, it truly, like, that point of them saying, like, we cannot remove the strike if we don't receive payment is fucking crazy, dude. It really is. Like, we can't remove the strike from your channel if payment's not received. It's like, okay. Listen, man, if somebody is, wants to claim this, or if they're unhappy that if there's a YouTube channel that says, hey, I would rather you just not react to my shit or use my shit, I'll be like, all right, that's fine. Okay. If that's what you want, like, I'm not trying to, get in a pissing contest with somebody, but when I come into the conversation in good faith and they respond with, hey, if you don't pay us, we're not removing this. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I have a legal right to cover stuff under fair use. I have that. I know those rules. I've been doing this long enough. So we'll see what happens with it. I'll keep everybody updated. Dark Warlord says, did you call someone a ninja again? Not today. Nubbin says, being careful tax. Ogdog says, who asked? You did. That's a question mark, right? So you asked. Gerald Armstrong says, Jeremy's channel is under attack. Emo says, fuck KTLA 5 tax. Slain Hope says, Milo has been tweeting out his text with Elijah Schaefer. He has. I don't know much about Milo Yiannopoulos, but he seems to have dirt on everybody. Dude, Tree Bear, I just put this fucking meme up. You've already turned this around? Dude, Tree Bear, that is insane. Like, that is crazy, dude. Holy crap. What's happening, man? I saw Harley Davidson's accurate. We had the Savannah Guthrie story, and that one just keeps getting wilder and wilder. So at this point in time, President Trump has basically put full, support behind this case. I still have a lot of questions about that, and I covered it a little bit earlier, but whatever. I guess we'll see what happens. The whole story is just, it's almost too much to kind of filter through to see what the truth is and isn't. So, let's see if we have an update on this. Give me just a second. I just got off the Mario Kart stream. So, okay, here we go. Here we go right here. All right, here we go.
Right now from Savannah Guthrie. Let's watch it together. Go.
On behalf.
So this was Savannah Guthrie's video that she just released on social media. We covered this a little bit earlier, and I was not convinced that this felt very staged and very strange. But whatever, people go through trauma and tragedy differently, but
Of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy.
Dude, wear your good shirt, honey. being from Alabama, I fucking know that line. Honey, wear your good shirt, okay?
We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses.
We're not gonna. The whole thing is not gonna show the whole thing. Just so you're clear, we're not watching this whole thing. This is the Jesse Waters segment. They're going to be talking here in just a minute. I'm not sitting through this whole thing again.
Adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge.
No, they're not. Never mind. Okay, they're only playing this fucking video. My bad. I thought that they were actually going to talk about some new updates to it, but apparently not, because I just kind of went through it, and no, they're not. So I'm not going to make you sit through that whole video again. But oh my God, this might be worse. This might be a worse thing to put you through. But I do have some interesting news, because I didn't know this was actually something that was going on. Did you guys know Nancy Grace is still alive? Because I did not know Nancy Grace was still alive, but apparently Nancy Grace has something to say about this. John Benet Ramsey's the last time I remember hearing Nancy Grace's name.
Monitor the home of Nancy Guthrie after a flurry of police activity within the last couple of hours. At the same time, a desperate search for Nancy is underway. So what will it take to solve the case and bring this 84-year-old grandmother home safe and sound and get her the medicine that she desperately needs? Here with more reaction analysis, the host of Crime Stories with Nancy Grace on Fox Nation. Nancy is with us. Okay, this has been your life's mission, your passion, your vocation in life, and you have studied more crimes than any other one person that I know. Let's look at and unpack, as I've been saying, all of this new information.
Oh, her. She's scary. A lot of you were like, who's Nancy Grace? Who's Nancy Grace? Oh, her. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. Nancy Grace, I haven't seen her in years. She doesn't look terrible for how old I figure she is.
That we have, and that post by Savannah and her brother and sister on Instagram. What do you glean from that?
Number one, it's heartbreaking and excruciating to watch, but we have to watch. And this is what I discern. Number one, law enforcement absolutely knew that this statement was being.
I retract my previous statement. We got a close up. I retract my previous statement. Previous statement has been fully retracted. I apologize. I was wrong.
Being made. They probably helped them prepare it. I know Savannah. Savannah would not go rogue. We work together at Court TV. She's covered many, many cases like this. She knows what's happening. She would not go rogue and do this against law enforcement's decision, much less the FBI, for Pete's sake. Of course they knew, and they probably coached them or helped them. Number one.
So again, I want to, just for the audience that's not aware of what is going on, Savannah, and I'm not an expert on this, Savannah Guthrie is the Today Show host. She's been doing this for a long time. Her 84-year-old mother has been reportedly kidnapped, okay? Reportedly kidnapped. Now, what gets weird about this is apparently there's a ransom letter, and the people that have her are demanding money. Now, apparently this old lady lived alone and was in need of medical attention, yet Savannah Guthrie, who has been in media for a long time and has tons of resources, did, I guess, just let her mom live alone. Now, for those that need a little more context here, October 2020, October 15th, 2020, during an NBC News town hall in Miami, Savannah Guthrie, in the place of the second presidential debate, when Guthrie pressed Trump to publicly disavow and distance himself from Q. So here we go.
While we're denouncing, let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are.
I remember this now because I didn't remember who Savannah Guthrie is. I remember this. This is amazing.
Theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate.
Trump is always sharp as a knife, always on point.
Doesn't necessarily make it fact.
Here we go.
QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is a
satanic
cult run by the deep
study the
state.
subject. I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans.
Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories. Why not just say it's crazy and not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I remember her now. The fact that she now, this evil woman who's more concerned with making Trump disavow a group of people that want pedophiles brought to justice than to actually find out, like, maybe what's going on. What is this all about, Mr. Trump? Have you ever looked into this? And are you interested in investigating this more? No.
Let me ask you another thing.
Let's waste the whole show. You start off with white supremacy. I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more.
Let me just tell you what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia, and I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree.
But
with
there's not a satanic pedophile.
I have no idea. I know nothing
You don't know that? Okay.
No, I don't know.
You
that.
just this
neither
week.
Do you know that?
Okay.
And now here we are all this time later, and she needs Donald Trump to step in to save her mother. It all comes full circle.
What else does it tell me? To take the ransom notes seriously. There's a lot being thrown around in the media that is it real? Is it fake? Is Bitcoin? Blah, blah. Well, apparently that note had something in it that made Savannah Guthrie, who knows the law like the back of her hand, try to reach out and speak to whoever sent it. That tells me that possibly the description in the note was accurate. Only the family and law enforcement would know that. And they have chosen, Savannah and her brother and sister have chosen to engage with whoever wrote those notes. There's something in that note is accurate.
Okay, so I agree with you. I can't imagine that they would go out there with this statement and basically.
What if this was never supposed to hit the mainstream airwaves? What if this thing has gotten so out of hand that now they're panicking? Just throwing ideas out there. I'm just asking questions. What if this was a personal issue that they were dealing with and they set it all up? And now that it's gotten national attention and now President Trump's involved.
Asking for proof of life, talking about a willingness to talk. I don't think they would do that at all without taking into account the real possibility that law enforcement deep down believes this is a very real possibility of a kidnapping and a ransom. Now, those cases are treated very specifically. How would you imagine this now begins to unfold?
Well, we've got to wait now. We're playing their game, the perpetrator's game. One other thing I can glean from this, Sean, is that there's been a lot of speculation. It's from it's an insider very close to the family. I think if the family thought that, they would not be speaking on Insta to an unknown party. I don't think you would see this happening. What we're seeing, this extraordinary moment right now.
I'm looking in the. I'm like. So I've been looking in the comment section just since Mario Kart ended and watching, because like I'm looking right now at a comment section, and there's a lot of people that are just not buying this shit. Like, this is on Laura Loomer's post, and she's like, I'm praying for them and all that. You got people who are like, I'm not evil or heartless, and I pray this woman is found and safe, but something about this entire story just doesn't feel right. I don't think the ransom thing is legit. It's likely someone she knew well. Like, there's a lot of people that are questioning this, and I'm on the same page with the people questioning this. Something about this just is not adding up.
Proof of life, and it can't be some AI image. They want to know she's alive. They want something in the background to show she's alive. It's got to be something that strikes them as real. And again, we're playing the perps game. I don't like that. We're going to have to wait on them to respond, see what the response is. What if we don't hear from them for another day, 2 days, 3 days? Did you notice it took a long time for the ransom note to appear? That was concerning to me. And another thing, Savannah and her family have been through HELL because they haven't come forward and spoken until now. Did anybody ever think that in her position, in the limelight, in the public, she was told that that may throw fuel on the flame?
Let's just assume for a second here that this is a legit story. For a moment, let's just assume this is all legit and there's no funny business going on. All right? Okay? We're going on a story here, okay? All of this is legit. All of this is true. This poor old woman has been kidnapped and by just some crazy lunatic who knew that her mom or that her daughter was a famous news anchor, and he just wants money. Let's just assume that for a minute, okay? And then Donald Trump, a person that Savannah Guthrie has been very much against, very mean and hateful and dismissive of. That man that Savannah Guthrie has been so dismissive of has now stepped up to put the full federal government behind it. And let's just hypothetically say that Donald Trump and the federal government and the FBI find her mother safe and sound and bring her back home and hold the people accountable that did it. Savannah Guthrie might, for a week, praise President Trump, and then she will go back to hating him. Guaranteed that she will do that. Like, there's nothing he can do. And I'll go back to this interview right here and the way she talked to him, the way she was dismissive of him, the way she talked down to him. One more time. Just listen to the way she talks to him.
All right, while we're denouncing, let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true?
She hates President Trump. She hates him.
Disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about
They believe it is a
If you'd like
satanic
me to
cult run by the deep
study
state.
the subject, I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by
Republican
Republicans.
Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories.
He may be
Why not
right.
just say it's
Can I be
crazy and
honest?
not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you
all
another
about it.
thing.
Let's waste a whole show. You start off with white supremacy. I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more
Let
on
me
this
just
thing.
let me just tell you what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia, and I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree
But
with
there's
it
not
very
a
strongly.
satanic pedophile
I have
cult
no
being run
idea.
by-
I know
You
nothing
don't know
about
that? Okay.
No, I don't know.
You
that.
just
And
this
neither
week.
do you know that?
Okay.
What a Chad. What a Chad. And yet here he is stepping up to see if he can find her mother. Tutan Tommy says, watch YouTube vid at 1 minute in. Title is Trump denounces white supremacy. Sidesteps question. Oh, yeah, that's exactly it right there. There you go. This is what we were just reacting to. So there you have something is fishy 100%. Yep. Nick Too Shy for 20 says, don't be shocked if this Savannah Guthrie thing turns into another Juicy Smollett thing. We all know how that turned out. It's going to be hilarious if it does. Also 199. Thank you. Maximus America says Pizzagate and QAnon, the amount of gaslighting and dismissal that was taking place around anything with PDF files is absolutely shocking. Truly sick people. Agreed. Very much agreed. All right, let's get back to
she was
this.
following the directions of law enforcement, and now she's spoken. I hope that makes everybody happy.
So is this location that they keep showing, is this the mother's house? They keep showing this really nice house, nice setting. Was this the mother's house?
I hope that makes everybody happy, so we can now focus on finding Nancy Guthrie.
Okay, let's go back to what we know. Why did they?
So that is the mother's house. We saw it earlier too when they were talking about it. This is a beautiful house. Now, I don't know how things are. I don't know what the cost of living is in Tucson, Arizona, but it's a beautiful house. Why did she live in this massive house, massive, beautiful house all by herself? Why? Like, if she's that wealthy and her daughter is a anchor for CBS, I think today, is that today? I think so. Why wouldn't they have her a nurse that takes care of her?
Go back, and I know we're all speculating here, but there's got to be a reason why they went back to the mother's home today, why they went to the sister's home today. Now, they might have, this could be very innocent. They went to the sister's home, maybe in preparation for this statement that they were going to release tonight. It could have been that simple an explanation. And I don't like that people run rogue. The media often rushes to judgment. They were wrong on Richard Jewell, wrong on Duke Lacrosse, UVA, Ferguson, Missouri, Freddie Gray in Baltimore. They're wrong a lot. So we don't like to rush to judgment. You never rush to judgment. But why do you think they went back to the house today? There had to be a specific reason. And it's hard to believe in this day and age, Nancy, help me, that there are cameras everywhere. I know whoever did this ripped that camera out at Savannah's mother's house.
I'm telling you right now, Mike Ehrmantraut is behind it. Mike sabotaged the cameras. Gus Fring ordered this. I'm just telling you, the FBI needs to be asking the right questions. Does anyone you know own a chicken joint? Just saying.
At Nancy Guthrie's house. However, what about a neighbor? They had to have somebody that, got every license plate and every person, that walked down that street or drove down that street that night.
You cannot tell me in a neighborhood like that there are not security cameras, surveillance throughout. And she was taken in a vehicle. She can't walk past 50 yards, all right? She was taken out that door. We know there's forced entry, but they came out of that front door. from the blood that apparently has been identified as Mrs. Guthrie's. The blood ended there.
I didn't know there was blood. That's very bad. I did not know there was blood at the scene. That is not good at all. Los pueblos hermanos.
She was put in a car. There's got to be a record of that car. There's got to be some cell phone data.
Yes, I did.
somewhere.
How did I know? I don't remember any reports of there being blood at the scene. I don't remember that. So Raider for 74.92. Let's go, Raider. Thank you so much. Supposedly on the porch. I might have repeated that, but I don't recall that. Jeremy, I don't remember how to tie my shoes. Dude, I don't remember earlier streams, so I don't even know. I don't even know what the fuck's going on half the time. Here we go.
It's just a needle in a haystack right now. But regarding surveillance, I know they're in a vehicle, and I know we got to track that vehicle. But I want to point out one thing. It wasn't just
I literally read it from the report last stream. Makes a lot of sense then.
the agents. They brought dogs, Sean. They brought dogs. What does that mean? Were they looking? Was she taken into the garage? You have to look to see where they're taking the dogs.
All right, Heir to the Empire. Thank you.
Of a grid search around the area, like out into the woods a little bit. Did they get a tip, or did they think that they had missed something? I thought they opened up the scene way too early. That's just me, having handled thousands of crime scenes. But they went back to that scene. That scene could have been tampered with by now.
Nancy,
close the scene.
Okay, we have cadaver dogs. We have drug dogs. There are dogs that are trained specifically to seek out electronics that may be hidden somewhere. I mean, it could have been any number of reasons why those dogs were brought in there.
Eric says, good God, these reporters are dumb. I'm literally hosting the show that you're watching and modding for, and I can't even remember that I referenced this blood on the scene earlier. So we don't have a whole lot of room to talk shit about them, okay? Just saying.
But you're right. They did expand outside into the property. Okay, what do you think they're looking for?
I think that they may be looking for the approach into the home. There have now been reports of a male that does not live in the neighborhood that had been in the area leading up to the time that Nancy was taken. Are they trying to pick up a scent there? I think that they've gotten a tip.
There's a shot of that home. That is now again, I'm not familiar with Arizona. I've been through there a few times, but that's a really nice home. I don't know if that's the standard home for this area, but that looks like a really nice home. And for her to be there all by herself is strange, considering that she's obviously from a wealthy family and she is at an age where she probably needs a live-in nanny or something like that. So Jeremy is the type of smart that would hire Beardo. You got me there.
Some kind of information. They had to go back and check it out, and they brought dogs. That's what I can surmise right now. And that's very serious to bring the dogs back out. They're looking for some type of human scent, I believe. I don't think they're looking for electronics. And they're not looking for drugs. They're looking for a human.
What? Okay, so why are you, she's obviously connected to the family. How do you know they're not looking for drugs, Nancy Grace? How do you know that? Why would you why would you say that proactively? Seems pretty defensive.
Go back and check it out, and they brought dogs. That's what I can surmise right now. And that's very serious to bring the dogs back out. They're looking for some type of human scent, I believe. I don't think they're looking for electronics. And they're not looking for drugs. They're looking for a human.
Let's go back to the original
Even
statements
sent.
of law enforcement. They believe she was taken out of her home by force. It was a forced entry
Yes.
into the home. We know that the camera was ripped out. There was the blood, but as you pointed out last night on this program, not a significant amount of blood that would indicate that she was dead when she left that house. That means that she was taken out against her will, according to law enforcement. Walk us through. That means I think I would conclude if they wanted to kill her, they would have killed her right then and there on Saturday. Okay, they wanted to take her. They took her. Now, as you look at each little piece of that puzzle, having gone over thousands and thousands of cases throughout your career, what does it tell you?
It tells me, number one, she was upright and walking. She may have been assisted. She was not down. She was not being dragged prone, because the blood was dropping, I think, from her nose. And you see droplets coming down. As a matter of fact, if you very carefully look at that blood in the front, it's almost as if you can see the steps through the first 4 tiles. There's a drop or two of blood on each tile. She's being led out of that house, and based on the blood, she is still upright. That's very significant in my mind. She's alive at that point. That's what I think. If this were random, they would have killed her, robbed her, raped her, and left her body in that home. That's harsh. I know it's harsh, but I'm dealing with the facts. She's not there. That's not what this is about, which gives credence to the ransom notes. And now we see the family coming out. They're giving credence to the ransom notes too. Or are they grasping at straws? I don't think so. There's something in that note that rings true to the crime.
Very strange to talk about, like, raping an 84-year-old disabled woman. Like, what is wrong with you? That is such a weird thing to say. Like, that's like E. Carol Jean level stuff right there. That it's basically like, let me see if I can find that one with her and is it E. Carol Jean? Is that right? Is that her name? E. Carol Jean with what's his name? Anderson Cooper. That was weird, bro. I think that's her name, if I'm spelling it right. E. Carol Jean and Anderson Cooper. Yeah, right here. Right here.
Victim.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Mm. Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Mm. We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
So awkward. So awkward.
Quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
What a fucking nut job, dude.
Crime scene of what Mrs. Guthrie was wearing. So we've got to be taking this very seriously. Now, these ransom notes are the way to go. That is the path. And we're playing a waiting game. I don't know how much longer Mrs. Guthrie can wait.
You told me something privately, and I want to bring it public. You said to me that the fact that she was in this house alone and this happened where it happened, that you were convinced it had to be somebody local. Do you stand by that?
Yes, I do. I do not believe all these zany theories that Savannah covered an incendiary case. She does that every day. We all do. And that somebody got mad and travels across the country, finds her elderly mother and kidnaps her. That's not what happened. This is not some, conspiracy against Savannah or a political statement. No. They knew her. They know where she lives. They know she lived alone. This is someone in that area. This is not a vigilante from across the country making a political statement. That's absurd. So, yes, I do stand by that.
Hey,
this is a wild story. Now, where it gets even more interesting, okay, and this was yesterday, 2 days ago, well, I guess yesterday. Magically, TMZ received an unverified ransom note today demanding a substantial amount of amount for the return of Today anchor Savannah Guthrie's missing mother, Nancy. We have since contacted law enforcement.
So we got something in our email that looks like it's written like a ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Specific
And they're
requests
very
for certain amounts of money,
very specific.
Bitcoin.
And also they say at the bottom, there are certain things they're saying about what she was wearing and damage to the house.
That they're clearly saying to verify that
it's us.
We know what we're talking about here.
So we've contacted the.
No, you think like, well, Jeremy, yeah, TMZ's always getting all this stuff. So what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that TMZ founder Harvey Levin is named in the Epstein files, described as a good friend who could help run a global PR effort to defend the convicted PDF file, Jeffrey Epstein, and smear his victims and accusers. The more interesting thing is TMZ has not reported on TMZ being in the Epstein files. They've not mentioned it, but they magically got this ransom note. Pretty interesting. A very, very interesting scenario. I'm just showing you what's going on. I'm educating you to the best of my ability as to the things that are happening right now. And the timing of all of this as well. It's interesting timing. This wonderful, masterful, almost crime saga, like a TV series happening with a woman that was very much against the idea of the Democratic Party being called a ring of pedophiles. She was very much against that when she was on stage with Donald Trump. She didn't like the fact that the Democrats were being labeled that. And she was trying to pressure Donald Trump into denouncing those theories. And when he did not denounce those theories, she got very angry about that. And now suddenly the Epstein files have dropped. And there's a lot of people that are being, questioned about that. And specifically, if you're not a mentally retarded idiot, you realize that Donald Trump is one of the only people that doesn't have major questions around him in the Epstein files. But there's a lot of people that do have questions about them in the Epstein files. And it's just kind of, funny to watch that whole thing play out. So, I don't know, man. I do think that there's a lot of panic going on. And I'm not saying that these things are directly tied to one another. But you got to ask yourself, what is going on? What is happening? Why are these things popping up out of nowhere? So, I don't know. As we saw, like just the other day, if I can find it, I think I liked it. If I can find it. This one right here. No, I have to go through my bookmarks and look for it. But this kind of put the whole Epstein files situation in a nutshell and kind of put it in perspective. And I played it on CobraCast yesterday. Or not yesterday, but Monday. And I actually played it on Main Event the other day as well, because this kind of puts it all into perspective that the Epstein files were never about, what the people that stream about the Epstein files talk about. It was never about that. The Epstein files was about one thing and one thing only, and that is President Trump. Simple as that. And these people can't even process all of the information that is being released right now. They're too focused on one man and one man only. And the only thing they care about is Trump. But the reality of it is if you actually look, Trump is pretty much vindicated more than anyone else in the files. This is the video right here. This puts it into perspective. Here we go.
Okay, this new Epstein email is kind of crazy. Look at this. Bill Gates was planning pandemic simulations with Epstein in 2017. Yeah, did you see the part about Trump and underage girls? Yeah, those are old allegations already discredited, zero evidence. He did it.
That is it right there, dude. I fucking love that. He did it.
Part about Trump and underage girls? Yeah, those are old allegations already discredited, zero evidence. He did it. Okay, whatever. Check this out. An email refers to the founder of TMZ as a good friend who could help with media coverage. A peddling was controlling the narrative through media. Not that this is something new, but it's kind of nice. But Trump is in the files. I thought we already settled that with the facts, but Trump is in the files. Epstein had exchanges on trans children and how to normalize it. This guy wasn't just trafficking girls. He was in talks to push gender ideology. Don't care. Trump is in the files. Epstein sent an email saying Ghislaine Maxwell's father got killed after trying to blackmail Israeli intelligence. Trump, in an email to someone, Epstein said, "I represent the Rothschilds." Trump is in the files. Epstein lived in the Vatican for a while, giving design direction. Trump, he was working to overthrow Putin. Trump is in the files. He's literally in a picture with boxes containing CIA documents. Trump. Okay, there are emails about murders staged as suicides, government cover-ups, money laundering, a black market of sex trade, presidents and prime ministers all over the world, Mossad, CIA. Epstein ran at the top of global power. He had influence there. These are things to be looked at. And let's be honest, you didn't care or ask for these files when Joe Biden was president and when he had them. And now, you suddenly care about the children and the victims. And the only name that's been totally vindicated here, yet you're trying very hard to weaponize these files against, is Trump. Exactly.
So good. And look, you know who was talking about this long before anyone else? Trump.
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein.
Bro, wait, nobody on a massive level was talking about that until Trump said that. Like, that's nice guy. Got some problems, though. Nice guy. Probably a PDF file, though.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
Jeffrey Epstein, in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So,
the Clintons are friends
and he's
of
been
yours,
there
right?
for many
The
times.
Clintons are friends
Well,
of
I can't say friends, but I know.
How old is this clip? This is his when he was getting ready to run, or after he had announced that he was running. So like 2015. Oh, there's the fucking date right there. So 2015.
Friendly, you know them.
They play at my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to play
Are
at
you
my
saying
clubs.
this is a political problem for her if she runs for president?
It could be a political problem. Look, he could be a political problem. Right now, he's Teflon, and right now, maybe not. But he could end up being a political
Well, that's one question.
There you have it. So here's my question for the chat. My question for the chat is, and I mean this, like it's a serious question. Even if you're like, if you're 10% believe it, okay? Is Epstein alive? Is Jeffrey Epstein still alive? Do you believe that he's still alive? Just curious. I have no idea how this is going to go. I have no idea how this is going to go. Right now, we have like 65% say yes. Holy crap. Damn. That's pretty crazy. He's with Elvis, Tupac, and Jimmy Hoffa. The thing about it is, though, like the more we learn about Epstein and the more connected he was and everything, like I think, because I mean, I'm not old enough to really remember Elvis. I don't even know when like Elvis died. What year did Elvis die? Was that even before I was born? I can't remember. But Elvis has been such a famous figure my entire life. Like I know when I was a kid, I heard about Elvis so much, but I don't remember if Elvis was dead. He died in 77. Okay, so I wasn't alive yet. So, but Elvis was just so famous. He was so famous. Elvis was probably the most famous person until Michael Jackson, probably. And then Michael Jackson became the most famous person of my lifetime. And now that's obviously Trump. But the theories about Elvis felt like, you know, they were a little like back then we didn't call them memes, but they felt memeable. Like the Epstein stuff is memeable, but the Epstein stuff has a lot of substance to it when you look at all the stuff that he was connected to, you know. So you know, it's interesting, but 63% of the chat says he's alive, or at least believes he's possible, that it's possible he's alive. I'll let that run till we get to about 1,000 votes. And we'll see what all you guys think about that. That's interesting right there. That's very, very interesting. But yeah, the more we learn, the more it's like, what the heck's going on here, man? What the heck's going on? Let's see. Okay, I did not watch this video. I think somebody tagged me in this. But this dude has a message for Donald Trump. I got about 50 N-words over here, tall ones. You know what? Let's let him say it. All right, here we go.
Hey, yo, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to get this to DJ T. Get this to Donald J. Trump soon as possible. Hey, Donald Trump, listen here, bro. Hey, how much you paying per illegal? How much you paying per illegal?
All right. This is awesome. This is awesome right here. How much you paying per illegal?
Cause I got about 50 niggas over here, tall ones, like 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", that I know can run a Mexican down in 0.3 seconds, easy. We can round their ass up for you. All you got to do is let me know what the price is on their head. I got some niggas out here ready to get that money, man. You know what I'm saying? The dope game over with, Donald J. So let's make the new game catch it illegal, chase a Mexican, Venezuelan, Honduras, and whoever over here don't supposed to be over here. Let's start paying the Americans to run them down and tie them up. Let's lasso their ass. Let's do some shit.
Tie them up and lasso. We are healing as a society. We are healing as a nation. This right here is proof of it. Tie them up, lasso.
Tie them up. Let over here. Let's start paying the Americans to run them down and tie them up. Let's lasso their ass. Let's do some shit like that right there, man. Take this shit back to the Western days. You know what I'm saying? Hey, get at me, man. Let's get at me now. I'm talking about you gotta at least be paying $100 per head.
This is so fucking great. This is amazing. That's a hell of a deal, man. That's a hell of a deal.
Cause nigga don't want to have to be chasing no motherfucking Mexicans all day long just to make $120 a day. No. $100 a head. We going to get them. We gonna catch their ass for real.
Oh man. Woo! Now that is awesome. This man deserves all the respect in the world. That was beautiful. That was absolutely fantastic. I was not prepared for that. That was great. Holy shit. Now playing off of my question, because I didn't watch this clip, but I did bookmark it. Alex Jones was on with Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson says, I asked Alex Jones if he thinks Jeffrey Epstein could be alive after prison guard whistleblower documents were released. His answer shocked me. Let's hear what Alex has to say.
Some of the most horrible comments and stories and emails about rape and torture and murder exist inside of these documents, some of the most powerful people on earth. And you're really left to wonder, like, what really did happen to Jeffrey Epstein in that jail cell? And there's one very interesting series of DOJ documents that show the investigation and charging of one of the lieutenants that was working at the prison the night that Jeffrey Epstein died. And he said that Jeffrey Epstein was wheeled out in a medical wheelchair and that he was handcuffed to the wheelchair, taken to a transfer van, and nobody ever saw Jeffrey Epstein again. And he thinks they switched him. What do you think about that, Alex?
I think there's a very good chance Epstein's still alive. I mean, I don't know, but we're being completely lied to. Yeah, witness protection type stuff. He was a major CIA spy working directly for Bill Barr and his father. I mean, Bill Barr was a young man running Iran-Contra and then Attorney General twice. And we now know from documents that came out that he was with Fannie Willis in Georgia getting the indictments ready before the election in 2024. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying Epstein's still alive, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't believe any of this. And it's because Epstein, and people say, oh, you're covering for Israel. No, I go where the truth is. More than anything, he was CIA. And now you have the King Charles's brother now has been detained by the police. He'll be brought in for police custody. I mean, the rats are leaving the sinking ship right now. I mean, this is historic. It's very, very dangerous.
And that's why I can't help but look at TMZ getting this ransom note and looking at how TMZ is caught up in the Epstein files and how Harvey Levin is said to be a good friend. And suddenly now we're going to have this national story, because what's going to happen with the Samantha Guthrie story? It's going to be a national fucking story. It's going to captivate everybody. Every network's going to be covering it. And I'm just like, it's a perfectly written television story. It's perfectly written. It's set in Arizona. You've got an elderly mother of a longtime known face of a prominent show that all the normies know. Normies know the Today Show. They know who Samantha Guthrie is. You've got ransom notes. You've got, not a lot of, you don't have a lot of hard evidence. It's weird, dude. It's very fucking weird.
And I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, but for God's sakes, Trump saying 3 days ago or 2 days ago, oh, I'm exonerated. Oh, yeah, because they lied to him and said, sir, there's a bunch of lies about you. And plus we can't prove it. So he's like, okay, you know what? No, Trump, this is your victory. This is your Excalibur, but you've got to execute it, and it's yours to lose. Just cry havoc, let loose the dogs of war, to quote Shakespeare. Now is the time that people want truth. We need the truth.
I'm still in a place, and I don't disagree with what Alex Jones is saying, but like I'm still in a place where I don't think that as many people care about the Epstein stuff as people on the internet do. And I try to always separate myself from what it feels like the internet is focusing on versus what everyone is focusing on. And sometimes those things are connected and sometimes they're not. I believe that the internet is fascinated by Epstein. And I believe that the internet is dominated by Epstein, and you can get a lot of traction off this. But I do not believe that the majority of everyday Americans truly care about Epstein as much as internet people like myself and like all of you.
It's already devastating. It's not going away. I mean, Epstein went from being a 10, like a Spinal Tap, to an 11 to 100. I mean, it is now just, this is never stopping. It's never going away. And it's emblematic of the collapse of the old power structure where we are right now. So lead, follow, get out of the way. Trump's already the leader. He's totally innocent. Just come out and lead us on a crusade against the satanic pedophiles, the Islamicists, the leftists.
I will be interested to see how well, it's all, like, it's hard to tell sometimes, but it's easy to tell sometimes. There are certain stories that are such content gold on the internet. Now, what we're going to find out is how good this Samantha Guthrie mother story is going to track with the algorithm. Danke will probably have the clip up tonight or tomorrow of the Samantha Guthrie thing. We'll see how it tracks versus other stories. If that Samantha Guthrie story tracks incredibly well on the internet, that's going to motivate people to cover it even more. That's going to shift people's attention. And that's all an algorithm thing. How friendly is the algorithm going to be to that? And then that's going to determine if people are going to really, really pounce on that. So keep an eye on that. I'm keeping an eye on it. You're damn right. If Samantha Guthrie gets me 100,000 views, I'm going to keep talking about this shit. But I am interested too, to an extent.
The communists, the globalists, the EU, the Chi-Coms, and Trump, we will back you 1 trillion%. We want action.
I see a few people saying good night. Hey, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you hanging out with me on these late streams. I saw a 50 from Ember. Says, thank you for the late stream. My dog Ember says hello. Well, right back at you, Ember. Dogs are the best. Appreciate them and you. Thank you for being here. Dark Swords Rising says, I'll pay you to please stop playing this creepy ass clip. Which one was that? I don't even know which one now. I don't even know which one it was. Thank you, Dark Swords Rising. Mars Bar says, ever seen the early Stephen Miller days during the Duke lacrosse scandal? He clashes with Nancy Grace during that. She is so epically dumb. That has to be the reason she's lasted this long, like Jim Cramer effect. I was shocked to see her, man. I haven't seen the old days with Stephen Miller, though. I haven't seen that. I do remember the Duke lacrosse scandal. 100% I remember that. But I don't remember him and her going at it. But that's actually pretty funny. I may have to check that out. Now, we also have right here. So if you don't know, Bill and Hillary Clinton have to testify right here. Bill and Hillary Clinton have surrendered on Epstein and will testify because no one will protect them from being jailed for contempt of Congress. I think that's happening in late February, I think.
Well, I've never seen anything like it with the Clintons actually saying, okay, well, actually, we give up. We surrender. I was not planning on that. I've never seen the Clintons do that in their entire political careers. Hillary Clinton wouldn't give up the election after losing fair and square to Donald Trump. And she tried to have the guy killed. There's no, I'm shocked, Alex, that the Clintons have
let's
bent
be clear
the knee.
about this. This I can answer your question on definitively. The old globalist order's dead. Davos is dead. The UN's dead. And the Clintons now know all their networks. The Clintons were using Wiener and the laptop for blackmail. That's been confirmed. And so they now know they're cut off. They now know that's all in Trump's possession. And they all know that the system would rather get them on a conviction of contempt of Congress than letting them come testify. So, yeah, this is their Waterloo. I want all the Democrats to know, all the leftists to know, Obama's out of power. That's one faction. Hillary's out of power. The Muslim Brotherhood's out of power. British intelligence is out of power. The Chi-Coms are almost out of power. All these special interests that had their fingers in America trying to bring us down, they're all being extracted. They're all losing. It's like at the end of the first Godfather, where he calls in, his brother-in-law that set up his brother's son to get killed. And he goes, listen, all your buddies are dead. Every single one of them. I just want you to be truthful of what you did. And, they take him for a ride after that.
Yeah.
But with Clemenza. But the point is like, we're at that point now where it's like, listen, all your buddies, Venezuela, Cuba, Mexico, China, the EU, Klaus Schwab's gone. They're all gone. And so I want the Democrats running around like chickens with their heads cut off, like zombies still following the old paradigm. You've already lost. Now you can try to overturn the table. That'll make it worse for you. But I want them to know, because I'm not somebody that says positive things when they're not due. This is ours to lose. And if Trump goes on the offense, we win quickly. We turn this around. We have a new golden age. They'll actually won. But we got to have strength right now. So it's done. It's over. They've lost. And they need to realize that and give up.
What happened?
So they brought up Anthony Weiner, and Anthony Weiner is one of the biggest creeps ever. And I had to pull up a tweet from Trump. He's had a lot of tweets about Anthony Weiner, but one in particular is right here. Trump back in 2012 says, "Pervert alert. Representative Weiner is back on Twitter. All girls under the age of 18 block him immediately." Dude, what a based alpha giga chad. Like, holy crap. This is back when everybody knew that this guy was tied to the Clintons and all that shit. And Trump's like, pervert alert. Representative Weiner's back on Twitter. All girls under the age of 18 block him immediately. Yes. That's my president. He's got a ton right here. Scary thought. What is it with pervert Anthony Weiner doing with all these? What is the pervert Anthony Weiner doing with all the free time he has? Does he collect unemployment? Like, he just goes off on this dude, man. I knew disgusting and unwanted porn star Representative Weiner was a sleazebag the first time I met him. Thank goodness he was revealed, so to speak. Trump is so good, dude. It's so good. Oh, man. Absolutely fantastic. So, interestingly enough, this is I don't know what to make of this. But get ready. Because Kamala HQ has returned. And Kamala HQ has made this tweet right here. And there's a lot of speculation as to what this means. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, just as a reminder, okay, in case you forgot, and some people may have forgotten, and so I'm just here to, I just want to remind all of you, this is what you missed out on. This is what you missed out on.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah, well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
Let's talk about packing.
You once again gave a non-answer. Joe Biden gave a non-answer.
Trying to answer you
the
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No.
It'd be important if you said the truth. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week.
You landed haymakers on Joe Biden. How do you go from being such a passionate opponent?
It was a debate.
Ron Gold has said that he is for the legalization of marijuana recreationally. Your thoughts on that?
that he is entitled to his opinion.
So if it was legalized all throughout the country and medicinal, would you do it?
Listen, I
again?
think that it gives a lot of people joy, and we need more joy.
Woo! That was rough. That was rough. Nubbin says the TMZ angle is really fishy to me. I agree, Nubbin. Hail to you, brother. John freaking Murdoch says, oh, hell no. I thought the witch was dead. Somehow she returned. Somehow she returned. How does she do it? I don't know. Thank you, John. Wasn't sure if you're still up, brother. Nubbin says, is there a damn moment? There is a damn moment, LFG. You want the damn clip? You want the damn clip? Where's it at? Here we go. Damn! One more time. Damn! There it is. We have 62% have said yes to Epstein being alive. To 38% says no. We need 12 more votes to hit 1,000. When it hits 1,000, I will end that poll. And again, I played this earlier, but if you didn't see it, I think you should watch this.
At the crux of this theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind?
Is that supposed to be a bad thing?
The man, like a perfect answer. Like these reporters keep acting like it's a bad thing. Like it. Good Lord, man. They just continue to show everyone who they are. So 63% say yes to Epstein. There it is right there. John freaking Murdoch says, I'm still awake because I had a nap tax. Nap tax. Got to pay the nap tax. Those are the rules. I don't make it up. There it is. Thank you, John. Hail to you, brother. Let's see. We got Ironworks Gaming says, okay. Do you think the Crimson Twins were gay? And who wins, Baroness versus Lady J? We made a lot of jokes around the Crimson Twins. And then the ambiguously gay duo was on Saturday Night Live. And a lot of my friends and I were like, that looks like the Crimson Twins. So those jokes were made a lot back in the day. This is a G.I. Joe question for those that don't know. But they did seem very gay. Baroness versus Lady J. Like, are we talking a fight? Because if we're talking a fight, Lady J's pretty badass, dude, but so is Baroness. I am going to have to go. This is tough, man. I'm going to have to go Baroness because of bias. So, yeah, I know it's in an episode, but I'm just talking about overall. So, but I'm going to go Baroness. Didi says that dude from Epstein video made the perfect face expression of woke generation in glasses. Empty eyes. Yep. Absolutely. Nubbin says, is it a wag the dog type situation now? Very much could be. It's so confusing, man. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know what to make of that story. I think there's a lot of questions. And again, I'm caught up because it's almost like a TV show. Tons of people are saying Baroness in the chat. Veronid with $20 and says nothing. Taker says, I don't get it, Jeremy. You know what I don't get, Jeremy? If Trump is a PDF, then surely Bill Clinton is too, yet we were supposed to vote for Hillary, who would have been covering up for Bill's activities. Yeah, like it's just none of it makes sense. And this is the liberal logic about how they view this stuff and how they're They just continue to shift it around, and it really doesn't make sense at all. Like there was one, and by the way, this TikTok now has 90,000 likes on TikTok. So it's this one right here is it's getting the rounds, and people agree that Trump is potentially out there saving the world from evil forces. Let me see right here. There was a tweet that I wanted to show you guys. There's so much I'm having to keep up with that it's hard to remember which is which. It is right here. We go. There it is. Trump's first term, Epstein arrested and jailed. Second term, Epstein files released. Obama, Biden, nothing. Yet the left narrative is that Trump is hiding everything for Epstein. It literally makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's so dumb. And we're just going to continue to see this stupidity because this is what these idiots do. It makes no sense. Jess, you're out of here. Good night, Jessica. Have a good one. Everyone wish Jessica a good night. We appreciate her. Also, really quickly, we've got to talk about this because this is a pretty big story. Let's see here. And we actually have this on geeksgamers.com. And I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Dean Cain, the actor who played Superman back in the day, one of the greatest Supermen ever on screen, canceled right here. Superman actor Dean Cain rejected by GalaxyCon over difference in values. Difference in values? The hell does that even mean? Difference in values. Insane. Shout out to Marvin. Actor Dean Cain, best known for portraying Superman in Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman. And anytime we mention Lois and Clark, I think that we should always mention Terry Hatcher as Lois. Okay? I think that we should do that. I think Terry Hatcher as Lois should always be mentioned and acknowledged, okay? Because Terry Hatcher as Lois Lane, yeah, it's good. It's good. Hang on. I'm gonna show everybody. Vote. What are we voting for? Superman vote. Oh, for the best Superman? We're talking about Lois Lane right now. And dude, like Terry Hatcher, Lois Lane, bro, come on. Seriously. Like Terry Hatcher, amazing. Anyway, but says he's been rejected. So Dean Cain says he's been rejected from appearing at GalaxyCon due to what the event organizers described as a mismatch in values, a claim Cain publicly challenged after being denied an invitation. The situation unfolded publicly on X when Cain revealed that GalaxyCon, through an employee named Sarah, declined to book him, citing concerns over his personal views. Cain is an outspoken conservative Christian who routinely voices support for President Trump and ICE. Rather than quietly accept the decision, Cain asked for clarification, specifically requesting that GalaxyCon explain exactly which values he allegedly holds that disqualify him from the event. And there you see it right there. Here, let me that. Okay. Right here. What are the values? This is how they try to blacklist. Cain wrote, questioning why his beliefs would disqualify him from a comic convention and asking GalaxyCon representatives to be specific about their objections. Also, what's interesting about this is it gets even worse. It's even worse because GalaxyCon hosts Stars of Superman autographed event while excluding conservative actor Dean Cain over values. So all of these other actors are going to be there, but Dean Cain is not. GalaxyCon is currently promoting Stars of Superman mail-in autograph service, celebrating multiple eras of Man of Steel. Yet one of the most recognizable and definitive Superman actors in the character's history is absent, Dean Cain. And it's not an accident, not an accident at all. This is just disgusting, dude, to see this play out this way. Absolutely ridiculous. Dean Cain actually retweeted Geeks and Gamers. Let's see, I'm going over to his account right now. So hang on, let me readjust this right there. Okay, so Dean Cain retweeted, scroll down here. He's tweeting a lot. I know Beardo and Mike and Steph covered it earlier as well. Right here. So there's Gabe, and there's G&G crew, and then he retweeted our article as well. So shout out to Dean Cain. We've had him on G&G before, and I really appreciate him retweeting that. And we got his back, and that's what the website is for. We're going to continue to, highlight things that people may not highlight on other websites, but we're going to do that on our website. Our team has been doing a great job, and it's just like, I've been through it, man. A lot of you may not remember, but years ago, I was banned from my local con in Pensacola. Yeah, I was banned from Pensacon. And if you remember this, I don't know if you remember the story, but so essentially how it went was I had press credentials at Pensacon for several years. And I had these press credentials before I got big on YouTube. Big being, back then it was just like having 30, 40,000 subscribers was huge, and it still is huge. It's an amazing accomplishment. So what I mean is, like, the years prior, I had less than 1,000 subscribers and no one really knew who I was, but I started to speak out about all of these things that were going on with identity politics, and I was more outspoken about being a Trump supporter. And so this year comes around with Pensacon, and I had no idea what was going on in the anime world, but there was this story about Vic Mignogna that, really, really, was going crazy. And I was just like, what in the heck is happening right now? Where's all this at? And so Vic Mignogna's story was everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. I didn't know who Vic Mignogna was. Okay. I had no idea. But I was hearing about Pensacon's official Twitter account going after people that were wanting to see Vic Mignogna. So there was something, and I'm trying to remember the story, but there was another voice actress. Somebody says her name and I'll remember it. What's her name? Who's the actress that was at the center of the Me Too movement on Vic Mignogna? Who was it? Somebody here is going to remember, I know. Monica Rial, that's it. Yeah, not Jamie, but Monica Rial, that's the one. So Monica Rial was scheduled to be at Pensacon, and she was one of the Me Too people that was accusing Vic or whatever. Apparently, fans were going after her, saying, like, what you did to Vic Mignogna was wrong. So the Pensacon official account was going at responding to every fan, even fans that weren't tagging anyone, just fans that were talking about it. They were searching names out on Twitter. And any fans that were talking about Vic Mignogna and Monica Rial, the Pensacon account would respond and say, "You're not welcome at our convention. You're not welcome at our convention." And people were telling me about this. And they're like, "Jeremy, you're from Pensacola. This is going on with your local convention. Are you going to cover it?" And I was like, "Well, I got to cover this. There's no way I can't. That's bullshit. I can't believe they're doing that. That's very unprofessional." So I made a video about it. And I basically called out the convention and, basically said, X, Y, and Z, this is bullshit. This is unprofessional. I shouldn't be doing this, yada, yada, yada. Like, I don't know what it was. This is years ago, but I feel like it was not long after my video uploaded. I got an email from Pensacola, and they told me that I was no longer welcome at Pensacola. They said that your press credentials are being revoked and you're no longer welcome. And in the email, because at the time I didn't know who Vic Mignogna was, and so I said his name wrong. And in the email, she sarcastically said, by the way, it's not whatever I was calling it. You say it like this, and she sounded it out in the email. Very sarcastic, very dismissive. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then I made another video, and I was super sarcastic. And I was like, well, I'm a bigger deal than you guys anyway at this point in time. You guys are not even on my fucking level. Like, I was such an asshole about it, which I don't regret at all because they deserved it. But I responded and made a video. I was in my my Z car at the time, and I just made a sarcastic ass video, told them I was a bigger deal than the entire convention at this point anyway, that my channel's done blown up. I'm way bigger than Pensacola anyway. I don't need them. Fuck them. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to make so much money off you, typical old school Jeremy shit. And so I was basically banned in the video. I did not say Vic Mignogna was innocent. And I said, but I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm saying that based on the information that we have right now, I'm looking at this and this looks like a he said, she said. And at that point in time, nobody deserves to be demonized over allegations. You need to prove what he did before he's held accountable, so he shouldn't be banned. So I didn't even say he was innocent. I just said I'm not going to call the guy guilty, and they banned me for not saying he's guilty. That's essentially what they banned me for. Fucking crazy, man. And so what Dean Cain is going through right here is not surprising at all. Not surprising at all. It's absolutely insane. So anyway, we got his back. Shout out to the G&G crew for covering all that stuff, and for Dean Cain. So I was about to respond to Tweed Tone, and I almost fucking choked. Jeremy, it's 1 a.m. When's a Fortnite stream until 3 a.m.? You want to do it tonight? No, I'm not doing it tonight. I don't know. Ironworks Gaming for 20 says, did you ever see Adam the Woo? He did daily videos, passed away at 51, was a great guy, lives in Orlando. He was friends with Tom Wilson, Biff from Back in the Future, died in his sleep. Miss him so much. A YouTube OG. I hate to do this to him in his, since he passed away. But, and I say this like in a funny way, I hate to do it because he was a fan of G&G, and a lot of people that watch him probably will hate to hear that. But yeah, Adam was a fan of G&G. He absolutely was. And he was a good dude. He was a very good dude. And it's really, really sad what happened to him, but he was a fan of G&G. He had mentioned that to Jay a few times. And, so yeah, man, very, very sad. Awful, actually. By all accounts, just a great guy. And, but he did. Jay had mentioned, like, I guess there was one time where he ran into Adam at a theme park, and Adam saw the G&G shirt, and he was like, is Jeremy here? And I was like, dude, that's freaking cool as shit, man. And, so Jay knew him a little bit. But yeah, he was a fan of G&G. He was a great dude, though, man. A lot of people, he affected a lot of people positively. It's really sad. So rest in peace to him. John freaking Murdoch for 20 says Dean Cain is Superman tax. Damn right he is. All right. Where we at? Shorty Short says, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. Og Dog says, time to put the fries in the bag streamer. I respect that. True American says no culture war tax. Aya Bracatron says not sure if you're an engine sound guy, but what year of NASCAR had the best sounding motors? P.S. Buy a 60s Mustang before a new one, plus your current car. Oh my gosh, man. What year had the best sounding cars? I'd have to think about that one, man. I love going to the listening to the restrictor plates, but that's not a like Talladega Daytona. That's not an accurate representation of them, though. Although I love the sound of them with the restrictor plate tracks, but it probably would have to be late '90s, early 2000s. Just off the top of my head, late '90s, early 2000s, before they started to put all the other shit into them. But yeah, man. I'm kind of looking forward to NASCAR this year. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go way back, I didn't really watch back in the 70s and 80s. I didn't. So I can't really speak to that. But I'm just about my time watching. But I'm gonna try to follow NASCAR this year. I'm gonna try. It's tough to get back into NASCAR after so long, but Tony Stewart running the truck race Friday night at Daytona is pretty fucking cool. And I know that Kyle Larson said the N-word a few years ago, so I feel a connection to him. Yeah, there you go. Christian Rocker says, they ask you to pay an Amazon gift cards? No. Nod says, get Jeremy to the optometrist appointment tax. Gerald Armstrong says, for the record, Jeremy found Nancy Grace attractive for about 2 minutes. Slano says, Milo has said a lot and has never been sued for it. This is very true. Midnight Light with a get the membership. Thank you. Midnight Light says, why they always want Trump to denounce and deny the existence of satanic death child related PDF cults. God has something for their asses, Orthodox. Yep. Para Janitor says, Jeremy, if you don't win the claim against you, maybe try hiring some Nigerian bodybuilders to encounter you next time you go to the subway at 2 a.m. Dark Red Knight says, funny how this happened after the recent E-Files drop. Taker says, there's a Crowder short where this lady is collecting iguanas who fell from trees, and she says she is contacting her Trinidad friends so they can eat them. What? Let's see. Philip says, kidnapping is a big industry in Arizona, gangs involved. Slane Hope says, remember the left canceled Milo for stating he was the predator when he was in an underage relationship with a priest and the Amazing Atheist podcast. I don't remember that. I don't know a lot about him. Elydium X Game says, I live in Tucson. The police are totally clueless. Slane Hope says, maybe smoking weed will help. It treats Alzheimer's. No, pass. No drugs, no alcohol. No cigarettes, no nothing for me. Just a boring old life. John Wayne says, a sad state of affairs when Jeremy is more intelligent than legacy media talking heads. That is not a compliment for either of us. Dave Moore says, this whole thing stinks more than the Somalis. John Orchard says, this just doesn't make sense. Hey, Nancy, everything you said is a basic search and investigation. Louise says, I don't think this old lady pushing bricks on her are a fent user. Fantastic Snob says, 3 times I took the jab. I got heart palpitations. Holy shit. Be safe, brother. Little Jim Taylor says, so she was kidnapped Saturday. Now the story is out. It's weird, man. The whole thing is weird. Mike says that this is a distraction for boomers. Transgirly says, my boyfriend fired the cleaning lady, by the way. Can't have a cleaning lady stealing your super chat money. I have no idea. Seleno says, Elon's love of China should make us all nervous. Vault 199 Gaming says, please share the price per illegal on X to be bookmarked. Lord Bolthus says, see the ShamWow guys ad running for Congress. I did have that bookmark somewhere. I got to see if I can find that. You just Matt says, can you pray for me to get this new job in Georgia? I need to get out of Washington State. Everyone pray. Prayers up. Let's get this job in Georgia. Hopefully it's a good job, man. Hopefully it's a good one. Daniel says, oh, Lord, back it up, Terry. D-Day Trump for $1. Lying dog face pony soldier for a gifted membership. Kuzan199, it says, met Dean at a con last summer. I told him I liked his interview with Piers Morgan. He half joked and said, thanks, man. They're always out to get me. Taker says, any crew covering Nintendo Direct tomorrow? Not the partner showcase. We're always going to cover a main direct because Krista will, demands it. But yeah, not the partner showcase. So nothing going to be covered on that one. John freaking Murdoch says, I've eaten iguana before. Tastes like chicken. Look at there. I'll pass. I'll leave that one to you. Ironworks Gaming says, love you, Fig. Here's to another 20 years, I.199. Orange C. Mun. Watch the victim of the kidnapper or should I say Granny Napper be Jeffrey Epstein, and this is how he worms his way back into the public limelight. 199. Alex of the Mountain says, bring it to the Western days. And Brodsonite says, oh no, an unknown male in the neighborhood, a headless, heartless stranger is what you probably meant. Was Savannah going to do some reporting on Epstein stuff we haven't heard about yet? And now her poor old mom is missing. Intrigue. Also, I meant her heartless stranger. There you go. RL Dog says, sounds like they aren't even American if they are asking for USD. Oh, you're talking about the thing that I was dealing with? They're in Denmark, apparently. That's where they're located. I don't know. But either way, I think we're going to end it there. I've been streaming since when did I go live? 8. So I've been streaming for I don't know, a few hours at least. Super Bowl poll. All right, we'll do a Super Bowl poll and then we're going to end it. Here we go. Patriots or the Seahawks? Let's see what the people in the chat think. All right, Pats or the Seahawks? Who's going to win the Super Bowl, everybody? Let's see. Laughing Man says, another CobraCast in the books. Jeremy's script leaked. Seahawks will probably win the poll. Because everybody hates the Patriots. So Og Dog says, I don't watch baseball. Thanks for that input. Sports ball, don't care. Hey, really appreciate you guys. And again, before we end, please make sure you are subscribed to D-Day Cobra 2. That's where dude, okay. I told you Danky's already got that video up. So please subscribe to D-Day Cobra 2. This is where all of the uploaded clips from the CobraCast are. And so make sure you go over there and check that out. Danky's doing a great job over there. And make sure you follow me on Rumble because you never know what's going to happen to this channel. Hail to the Rumble chat, as always. Let's see here. Okay, so Trump is live. Let's see. Dark Schwartz Rising says milestone chats are gay. John Wayne says neither because the Super Bowl is gay. And right there. So we got a 55 Seahawks, 45 Pats. We're going to end it there. Boom. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. I don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow because I've got a lot going on. If I do go live, it will be late. So keep that in mind. Okay. If I go live tomorrow, it will be a late stream, probably around this time. I don't think I'll be able to go live during the day tomorrow. I have too much going on, so keep that in mind. Put that in your calendars. So if I'm live tomorrow, it will be a late stream once again. All right. You guys have a good evening. All the truck drivers out there, be safe on the road. Respect the truck driving working man. As always, Og Dog says GG's. I got a compliment from you. Holy shit. Some crazy shit going on around here. All right, guys, have a good evening, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye.